Hi! On the Woodpecker today, I'm going to show you how I plane all those boards. If you don't look at it closely, you think it's not a big deal. But if you look at it closely, you can see that each sides are not the same height. Ivan, one of my listeners, is upgrading his printer into an RV. He wants a cedar ceiling. So he asked me if I could plane his cedar boards. But the catch is all of them are different widths and are planed at an angle like this. The first thing I have to make is a planing jig. I begin by gluing some scrap pieces on one side of the board I'm going to use as the base. This will act as a stop for keeping the boards in the jig. Since I'm using what I have on hand, it's made of 3 sections. While the glue dries, I can get on with the rest of the jig. First, I cut 2 pieces to the same width and use them as a guide to glue the thin strips I've already planed. There's no easy way to clamp this, so I use a mix of spring clamps and a bunch of weights. But I'm not done yet. I also have one more stop to glue. So I find a strip in my scrap bin, and just like last time, I need 2 pieces to act as stops. With those stops, I can glue the other stop on top of the thin strip. Now I just need to wait for all this to dry. Since it will go through the planer, I wait all night. The next morning, the first thing I do is plane the 2 central planks. Those 2 are straight, so it's easy. Then I can begin on the angle planks. The first thing I do is cut the round over on one side of 4 planks. Then cut them to the right width and put the first one in the jig. Here it's more obvious that more wood will be removed from the left side. Now I just need to plane them. For the next 4, which are narrower, I need to cut some spacers. To keep these spacers in place, I only use hot glue. When they're in place, I need to cut 4 new planks. Put them in the jig and plane them. When I'm done, I glue another spacer beside the ones I've just glued and take care of the next 4 planks. But for the other width, I don't have any more scrap plywood, so I use a cutoff of one of the cedar planks. Glue it in place and plane 4 more planks. But for the last 4 pieces, I can't use my jig because they're too narrow. I need to do something else. So after cutting 4 strips from this plank, I tilt the table saw blade a little bit over 4 degrees and cut the 4 strips to this angle. But the saw blade leaves some marks, so I sand them away. Since I have the sander in my hands, I also sand the rest of the planks. Here are half of the planks. From the top, nothing special. But if you look at them from the side, it's another story. Now, maybe someday, you'll want to plane some angle planks. But be aware that this makes a lot of wood chips. This is only the last bag. This is the rest of it. Now that the cedar is plain and in Ivan's printer, he only has to put them in place on the ceiling. Thank you and see you soon for another episode of the Woodpecker.